Minister of TEAT elucidates on the airport's testing of passengers. Prime Minister reminds the general public of the annual Thanksgiving service this upcoming Sunday. And Minister of Justice announces the launch of the Justice website. Those are the headlines for Wednesday, December the 2nd, 2020. Season's greetings, everyone. This is SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie from Putin. Thanking you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a full newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story, Minister of Justice, the Honorable Anna Richardson, speaking at the Council of Ministers' weekly press briefing today, announced with great excitement the launching of the Justice website on December the 1st, 2020. According to the minister, it is geared to sharing as much information as possible online. While at the press briefing, the minister also elaborated on statements and a video put out by the Ombudsman's office. The minister said that one of the first things she did when assuming her position as Minister of Justice was to contact the Ombudsman's office and expressed her interest in turning the relationship around to be able to produce results. The minister expounded further.
It is with great excitement that I announce that on December 1st, 2020, the Ministry of Justice launched its official website, ministryofjustice.sx, and the ministry has moved into an opportunity of sharing as much information as possible online. We are welcoming the public to visit the website. I'll say it again, ministryofjustice.sx. And we would like to know that the information we have provided would be helpful. We get a lot of calls with persons not sure where to access certain services. Sometimes it's not even within the Ministry of Justice, but we are seeking to be able to provide as much information online as possible, giving proper guidance. The Ministry of Justice, or at least my person as minister last week, I believe it was Mr. Cerillion, that asked some information about community police officers. And I'd like to be able to mention that on the website as well, we are uploading contact numbers and information for all the district community police officers who are available to the public in all the different districts and neighborhoods. In addition to that, KPSM has advised that the community police officers will be in the neighborhoods doing some assessments, finding out what is happening within the community and how they can be of assistance. And lastly, I'd like to be able to touch a little bit on statements and a video that was launched by the Ombudsman's office. You know, when I was a member of Parliament, I came across a document, or a report rather, from the Ombudsman's office, and it spoke specifically about not having a relationship with the Ministry of Justice. When I was asked or proposed to take up this ministry, that stayed with me. And one of the first things that I did was contact the Ombudsman office, and I expressed my humble interest to be able to turn that relationship around in a positive way, whereby giving that line of communication that would be consistent and will have and produce results. Not too long after, I did put a publication out. I introduced my head of control and planning, Ms. Saskia Thomas, and gave the opportunity that the Ombudsman knows this is your person of contact. And if I'm not mistaken, on a day-to-day basis, the Ministry of Justice is in communication with the Ombudsman office, working to solve issues. Whilst I read, and I did receive a report yesterday from the Ombudsman's office, no, it would be the day before yesterday, the Ombudsman's office, in conjunction, I see that they put out a video as well. I think it is a bit remiss that as a country and these organizations, we didn't have an opportunity to work together to address what we know, that even this minister has indicated on press briefing that this is a serious situation where the car parking and towing, etc., is concerned. And I think that I look, very much so forward to a meeting we have scheduled with the Ombudsman's office tomorrow, because I really want to understand where we have not been able to work together in the best interests of St. Martin. Parking in Front Street, for example, you have the street and then you have a sidewalk. If you're elevating your vehicle from one level to the next, you know that that is not and cannot be legal. So to throw a blanket statement out as has been done, I think it is a disadvantage to us as a country. Nevertheless, I look forward to our communication for tomorrow, and I look forward to us working together to be able to bring St. Martin in an organized manner and fashion that is going to be to the benefit not just for us as a country, but knowing that we are a tourist destination and we need to be able to have our pedestrians be able to comfortably and safely walk our streets.
And in other news at this time, the St. Martin Hospitality and Trade Association, SHTA, today announced its renewed cooperation with International Liquor and Tobacco Trading, ILTT, on the St. Martin event calendar, calling on companies and NGOs to share planned events for 2021 before December the 7th, 2020. As the pandemic timeframe asks for adjustments, the calendar will promote special guidelines for events like mask wearing and social distancing. In addition, the calendar has an eye for more small-scale events, from special sailing events to wine tastings. Even though optimism is in place for 2021 as a year of recovery, SHTA will underline all listed events are subject to change, as health safety will remain of the greatest importance. In addition to ILTT's world-famous brands, Captain Morgan, Smirnoff Vodka, Johnny Walker Scotch, SHTA thanks Grant Thornton, Taylor Group of Companies, and the St. Martin Tourism Bureau for making the 2021 event calendar possible. It is great to see that the many contributors thus far are resilient and combining forces together to show locals and tourists what our island has to offer. Since its inception back in 2017, the calendar has become a well-known sight on St. Martin, defined by its recognizable Lego block look by local artist Loic Bryan. In its latest edition, 30,000 copies were printed and distributed both on island and abroad. Digital downloads and spreadings by influencers amount to a comparable reach over the internet. The calendar has been used by foreign representatives, influencers, and Caribbean organizations to promote St. Martin's liveliness and diversity it offers, the release reads in part. And still to come, Prime Minister of St. Martin reminds the general public of the annual Thanksgiving service this upcoming Sunday. I'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie Van Putten. As we continue now in more news, Prime Minister of St. Martin, the Honorable Sylvania Jacobs, also speaking at the Council of Ministers weekly press briefing this morning, spoke on the ending of the very active hurricane season of 2020. The minister also touched on the upcoming Christmas season and is reminding the general public about the island's annual Thanksgiving service, which will be held virtually on Sunday, December the 6th, 2020.
Yesterday, December 1st, marked the first day after the ending of another hurricane season, where we must thankfully say we did not experience any major storms. While we are grateful to have been spared, in gratitude, we stand together in all the devastation that others have faced within the region and around the world from natural disasters, including major hurricanes. This was a very active season, and just like we were devastated in 2017, there are many around the world within the Caribbean Basin, Central America, and the United States that have experienced severe conditions as a result of hurricanes, mudslides, heavy rains, flooding, and the like. So our prayers go out to all of those who are suffering in some form or fashion as a result of having endured a natural disaster. And of course, all of us who are around the world suffering from some effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has gripped the entire world. As we are recovering, we are now moving into our Christmas season, and I would like to remind the general public that our virtual Thanksgiving service will be on Sunday, December 6th, which is traditionally the first Sunday in December, where we give thanks together with the Council of Churches for having come through yet another hurricane season. It is being held in collaboration between the Council of Churches and the Department of Culture. It will be a virtual event, and I ask all to tune in and give thanks with us as we do yearly. Of course, as we do that, we move into our Christmas celebrations. The virtual celebration will be on government's Facebook page, but then I would like to, it's traditionally we go from that phase right into preparing for Christmas. Christmas may be different for many of us this year. A lot of us are doing things virtually as well, including shopping. Since last weekend, which is traditionally the American Thanksgiving weekend, we've adopted some of the Black Friday traditions here on St. Martin. And I see many of the stores have gone further into giving good discounts over the month of December as well. So I ask the people of St. Martin to be very careful with their finances, seeing how difficult things are at the moment, where we are with the pandemic. Also to be very, very careful in your celebrations as to gatherings, etc. So while we are opening up and preparing for our season so that we can economically get back on track, I'm asking the people of St. Martin to remain vigilant with the health protocols to ensure the safety of themselves, the vulnerable in our community, and especially those with underlying conditions. Please be safe.
And in more news, the Minister of TEA, the Honorable Ludmila de Weaver, speaking at the Council of Ministers weekly press briefing this morning, elucidated on the airport's testing of passengers. The minister was asked about the increase in cases by a journalist and why are we not seeing the results coming from the testing at the airport. The minister expounded further.
Thank you for the question. The reason you're not seeing that information is because we have had no imported cases since we've had commercial flights restart. Yes, I love that reaction you're given because the procedures and protocols that we had in place, don't forget that a PCR test is a point in time result of your test. So the PCR test being the gold standard, that is why the results of it has been working good for us. What the data has shown us is that our local transmission is the problem. So our focus is on maintaining or lowering our local transmission rates. What happened this week, there was one case of a resident returning to the island who was subsequently found positive. This occurred yesterday. So that is what it means is that we would prefer to have PCR tests be taken in advance, or the 48-hour antigen test prior to you coming to the island. Sorry. The way that so we've had now in the last 3 months, I believe, one person coming in, which was yesterday, which was a resident who was caught by taking a PCR test upon return at the airport.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for December the 2nd, 2020, a stable atmosphere and low moisture levels will continue to restrict precipitation across the region. Additionally, the Atlantic high pressure ridge will maintain light to moderate winds. Seas are expected to peak at 7 feet tonight. Small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution. So the outlook through Friday midday, fair to partly cloudy with a passing shower possible. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, General Director of the WHO gives an update of the HIV cases worldwide. I'll have the details to that story when SXM Daily News returns.
The innovative Banco Matico contactless smart card. Your Banco Matico smart card is now equipped with a contactless feature for payments, so get ready to tap and go. Contactless payments are fast, easy, secure, and accepted worldwide at all Maestro-enabled contactless terminals. Tap for transactions equivalent to or less than 100 NAF, or the US dollar equivalent. You will receive notifications via email anytime you tap. Tap, tap, and pay fast with WIB. For more information, visit our website at wib-bank.net. Tap and go with your partner in progress.
How are you doing this morning?
Good. So, Rebecca, thank you for coming. I work as a psychologist at the Mental Health Foundation. I mainly see children and adolescents, but I also see adults. So whenever there's a crowd, that's when you're starting to feel
nervous.
Okay.
Nauseous.
Okay, it is kind of like your body. We are so used to taking care of our body. If we have a little ache in our foot, we know to rest it. We know, okay, I might have walked too much, so I need to rest. Now, of course, that can be just an ache in my foot, but I can also break my leg. Now, for breaking my leg, I would have to go to the doctor. So that kind of goes the same for mental health illnesses. So you can come in for something little as, I'm really stressed out lately. What would you need? A little bit of rest. But someone can also come in with way more difficulties. We're not here to judge right or wrong, good or bad. Is it helpful for you? Fine. Is it not helpful for you? Okay, then let's see what we can do about it. But not a wrong nor right, absolutely not. It's a magnifying glass without judgment.
Well, there's still a lot of stigma on the island, unfortunately. It's not a topic that people easily talk about, and that's a shame. They're afraid that they get judged, and there is still quite a bit of judgment. I mean, often we hear, don't go to that crazy house. Once you go in, you never go back. And it's just not true, We treat a lot of patients here, and a lot of them we get back on their feet.
Our goal at the Mental Health Foundation is for us to help you improve your life, for you to live a better, happier, and fuller life.
Welcome back, viewers. And as we continue now in this COVID-19 update, as of December the 1st, there were 3 persons who tested positive for COVID-19. However, there was a recovery rate of 9 persons, bringing the total active cases to 74. The total number of confirmed cases is now 1,072. The Collective Prevention Services, CPS, are monitoring 70 people in home isolation. 4 patients are currently hospitalized at the St. Martin Medical Center. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 remains at 25. The number of people recovered since the first case surfaced on St. Martin has increased to 973. 173 people remains in quarantine based on contact tracing investigations carried out by CPS of persons who may have been in contact with any of the active cases. The Ministry of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, VSA, Airport Health Team, in collaboration with the Healthcare Laboratory St. Martin, the HCLS, has tested 1,448 travelers arriving at the Princess Juliana International Airport, PJIA, and CPS has tested 7,586 people throughout the community. As the numbers continue to fluctuate, CPS will continue to actively execute its contact tracing measures. Minister Panafleck reminds all to continue wearing your mask, maintaining a social distance of 2 meters, and practicing good hand hygiene. It is your duty to protect yourself and the ones you love. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, General Director of the WHO, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, speaking at a press conference recently on November the 30th on COVID-19 and World AIDS, gave an update on the HIV cases in the world. The General Director said that COVID-19 has had a profound effect on people living with HIV, as it has for many diseases. However, there is good news, as the number of countries reporting disruptions in HIV has declined by 75% since June.
COVID-19 has had a profound effect on people living with HIV, as it has for many diseases. There is some evidence that people living with HIV may have an increased risk of severe disease and death from COVID-19. This increased risk has been compounded by disruptions to treatment for people living with HIV. In a WHO survey of 127 countries earlier this year, more than a quarter reported partial disruption to antiretroviral treatment for people with HIV. However, with support from WHO and the work of health and community workers, the number of countries reporting disruptions in HIV services has declined by almost 75% since June. This is a good news. Only 9 countries are still reporting disruptions, and only 12 report a critically low stock of antiretroviral medicines. This is mainly due to countries implementing WHO guidelines, including providing longer prescriptions of antiretrovirals for 3 to 6 months. No patients can avoid health facilities. WHO has also worked closely with manufacturers and partners to ensure adequate supply of treatment. Countries have also introduced a number of effective adaptations and innovations during COVID-19. In Africa, many countries have built their testing system for COVID-19 on the existing lab infrastructure for HIV and TB. In Thailand, the government has maintained pre-exposure prophylaxis services and telehealth counseling for men who have sex with men. And many countries have introduced more self-testing for HIV to support self-care and avoid the need for people to visit clinics or hospitals. WHO is urging countries to maintain these innovations as part of the new normal and to help expand testing and treatment to people who need it. But if the pandemic has taught us anything, It's that in the face of an urgent health threat, the world can come together in new ways to defeat it. For many people, the pandemic is a source of fear, but it can also be a source of hope that we can defeat COVID-19 and we can defeat HIV. And there is a lot of hope, especially with the advent of the vaccines that have been announced in the last few weeks. And from WHO's side, we are sure that we can defeat this pandemic using the existing tools and also the vaccines that are in the pipeline.
And with that, viewers, we've come to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you for joining me. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you so much for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.